Today we're going to learn about common errors for chapter 4 and 5. Now, in chapter 1, slide 1, we will learn about the first error, using increment or decrement operator in wrong mode. Now, this error will occur when you place the increment or decrement operator in front of or to the left of the operand, which is used in prefix mode. When either of these operators is placed to the right of the operator, it's going to be still in prefix mode. See now these examples here. So you might want to avoid that. Second slide. For a game to include the Boolean expression in a while loop inside parentheses. Now this is a common error, but you need to avoid it since this error occurs when you forget to include the Boolean expression in a while loop inside the parentheses, as seen here. So remember, you need to put parentheses around your expression for the while loop. Placing a semicolon at the end of a while loop or for loop headed. Now, this error is going to occur when you write a semicolon at the end of your while or for loop. Now, Java will automatically assume that your executed statement is a null or empty statement, and your result will be an infinite loop. So instead of placing a semicolon here, you just have to put a comma, I believe, or no comma, depending on how you're doing your code. Alright. Now, for getting to close multiple statements in the body of a loop in base or in the key, now this is a big error. Since you are writing multiple statements in your bases, and if you forget to enclose them in bases, you will get an error of code. So basically, in this example, you need to enclose it right here in the bottom. Now let's move on. Using commas instead of semicolon to separate the initialization, test, and update expression in a for loop. Now, this error will occur when you use a comma when you try to separate. So instead of using a comma, you should use a semicolon, as seen in here. You should write a semicolon. Okay, forgetting to write code in the body of a while loop, then modify the loop control variable. Okay, now this will occur when you forget to write the code of the while loop body. Otherwise, your loop will repeat indefinitely or many times, and you will not get the word that you're looking for, such as post. So here, you need to write the code instead of forgetting it, using a sentinel value that can be also validated value. Okay, now this will occur when you mistake a sentinel value as a member of a list. Now remember, the sentinel value is an important value. So your loop, if you mistake it as a member of the list of the data, your loop will terminate itself if it encounters the value in the list. So don't put a value in the list, as in here. Don't write send no value. Don't write it down. Forgetting to initialize an accumulator zero. Okay, now this will occur when you forget to initialize zero before any values are added to your accumulator, such as in here. ... You need to put an accumulator to 0 or any number. Comprende? Alright, moving on. Putting a semicolon at the end of a method header. Now, this will occur when you put a semicolon at the end of a method, which leads to the method being terminated. If the method did not have the semicolon, I don't know why it's repeating itself. So all of this code that you have in semicolon will be terminated. Okay, write modifiers or return types in the method code statement. Now, this will occur when the modifier of the method and the return types in the code statement since your method modifier and the return types are in the method head, so you cannot write them in the code statement. Basically, you need to write them in your header of the method, such as here. See this example? Put them in your headers, not the code statement. Forgetting to write the empty parentheses in the code to a method. They accept no arguments. Okay, now this error will occur when you forget to write parentheses in the code statement, since it is important to write your parentheses in the code statement, even if your method does not accept the argument. So in here, put parentheses. Forgetting to pass arguments to method that require. Now this will occur when you forget to write an argument, since your method has a parameter variable, which means arguments must be provided when calling the method. Such as here, there's a common error, don't do this. Passing an argument of a data type that cannot be automatically converted to the data type of the parameter variable. Now, this will occur when the program passes an argument of the data type, since Java automatically performs the winding conversation with the argument data type. If the argument data type is ranked lower, then the parameter variable data type. So automatically in the words that are short, it will perform better if your argument data type is ranked lower than your parameter variable data, saying as in this example. Which means this example that you're seeing here, this is the error if you pass the argument of the data type that cannot be automatically converted. Alright, moving on. Attempt to access a parameter variable with code outside the method where the variable is declared. Now, this will occur when you try to write code outside the method variable, since the variable is only visible within the method where it's already declared. So in other words, you cannot write code outside your method, since your variable has to be visible where it is already declared of the method. So this example, bad, there's a code written outside. Alright, moving on. Not writing the data type each parameter variable in the method parameter variable in the method head. Okay, in short term, this will occur when you do not write your data type of the variable in the method, since each variable declaration inside the parentheses of a method must include the variable data type. As in this example, it does not have it, so this is a common error. Change the contents of a method's variable and expecting the argument that was passed into the parameter to change as well. So this error will occur when you change the content of the method variable, since method arguments are passed by value, which means the copy of the argument into the variable. Change to the variable have no effect on the argument. As in this example, this is a common error if you try to change the content of the variable and you expect the argument to pass into the parameter to change as well. Alright, moving on. Using a variable to receive a method return value when the variable data type is incompatible with the data type of the return. Now this will occur when the programmer or you yourself use a variable to receive the method return, even though your variable is incompatible with the return. So the variable method value must be so in other words, you need to have a variable that's compatible with the return variable, which means your method. As in this example, this is not compatible. And finally, we're moving on to the last one, not writing a return statement in a value returning method. Now, this is very important. This will occur if you do not write a return statement in a value return method. Otherwise, your method becomes a void and the correct format should be a returning value. So, you don't want your method to be a void. As in this example, this will become a void. Okay, in video 2, we will show you a couple examples.